Now, hi lads. X squared plus 3x minus 2. Everybody cool with that? X squared plus 3x minus 2. Alright. Identify that as a U-shaped. How do I know it's a U-shaped? Anybody tell me? Yeah. That's a plus x squared, right? If I was to solve that equal to 0, what would you tell me? If I solve that equal to 0, actually, no, can't be done equal to 0, never mind that. All you need to know is a U-shaper, okay? Now, what we need to do is we need to find out where does it have its minimum points, okay? So we used the technique we learned earlier. So what was the technique we learned earlier in the week? What do I do here? Replace it with? Come on. Yeah, 3 over 2 squared. I multiply that out. And what happens when I multiply that out? I get 3x, yeah. You're guaranteed to get the first two. And what's 3 over 2 multiplied by 3 over 2? 3 over 2 multiplied by 3 over 2, anybody? 9 over 4. Now what's the issue with the 9 over 4? Yeah, it's the wrong side, isn't it? So what can we say then? So I want to be at minus 2, which is located here. But I'm actually at 9 over 4, which is located here. So how do I travel from here to here? How much do I have to take away? 9 over 4 plus 2, take that away, isn't it? So what's 2 plus 9 over 4? 17 over 4, yeah. So how much do I need to take away, guys? Take away 17 over 4. 17 over 4 is how I turn 9 over 4 back into minus 2. Everybody cool with that? So we bring it back. Now, what can I change the full equation back into now? Anybody? X plus 3 over 2 squared, yeah. 117 over 4. Now here's the interesting part. What x value makes that equal to 0? Sorry, I'm gonna highlight a number and you tell me what's odd about this number. This whole thing here, what's guaranteed about that? It's guaranteed to be positive. Okay? Now guys, the green part's guaranteed positive. Why is it guaranteed positive? Squared. You want the minimum value, which is the lowest value, the smallest value. So what does that mean? You need this to be as small as possible. What's the smallest value it can possibly be? How would you turn it into 0? By making x equal to? Nope. Minus 3 over 2. What does that do? When you add them both together, it turns it into 0. Brilliant. If x equals minus 3 over 2, what's the y value then? All of this would be 0. So what's the y value? Yeah. And there's your minimum point right there. Everybody cool with that? That's your minimum point for that graph. I did that one. I want you guys, no, don't do the green one. I want you guys to do G. See G? I want you guys to try G on your own. Forgot? Alright, Kaminsky, you're going to tell me how to do it. First of all, Kaminsky, U-shaped or N-shaped? G, it's U-shaped. How do you know it's U-shaped? Yeah. U-shaped, does that mean maximum or minimum? Top of the mountain or bottom of the valley? Which means minimum. Okay? You're talking about a minimum question. Actually do what we've been doing the last couple of days, okay? So what do we get here? And what do we get left over? Now, you're just going to look at the x squared plus 4x part and what you're going to change that into. Yep. It's almost like you know what you're doing. Now, what happens when you multiply x plus 2 squared? Yep. Multiply it out for me then. Yeah. So you get 2x squared plus 8x plus 8. All right. Well, you don't want plus 8. You want plus 5. So what you need to do, so you take away 3 there. It means you can take away 3 up here. And what's your formula then? Yeah, that's your formula right there. Now, you want a minimum, don't you? So what is guaranteed about this section in here? What's guaranteed? Pick any value of x, Comiskey. What's guaranteed? It's positive. If you pick x equals minus 10, what will happen? What's minus 10 plus 2? What's minus 8 squared? And 2 times 64 is 128. It's going to be a big value no matter what. The most we can hope for is that it comes out as being 0. What value would make it 0? Awesome. You chose an x value of minus 2. That means minus 2 is the minimum x value. Now, what happens when you turn this into 0? What does that mean? Y will equal 0, take away 3, and the y value will be, and there is your minimum point. Who beat me to it? Good job. All right. Adam, what's the first thing you did? Minus 2x. All right. Now, Adam has decided to take out the minus 3. They're both identical to each other. Now, what do you do with this part here, Adam? Yeah. Adam half the second value and put it into a perfect square, okay? Now it's minus 3 times x squared minus 2x plus 1. Everybody cool with that? Now, Adam, once you multiply back into minus 3, what do you get? Yeah. Plus 6x minus 3. Now, Adam, what I wanted was minus 3x squared plus 6x, and I wanted a 0 at the end. So what can you do about that? Plus 3. Now, what's your equation going to look like now? Minus 3. Minus 1. Yeah, 3. All right. Can anybody, Matthew, what can you tell me about this part here? Guaranteed negative, because there's a minus at the front. Guaranteed to be negative no matter what value of x you put in. Okay? So you're going to get a guaranteed positive number when you put in x, but then you're going to multiply by minus 3, which would be guaranteed negative. Does everybody get that? Perfect square is guaranteed positive, and then you're multiplying by negative. Just to really hit the point home, this part here is positive, but the yellow part on the left is negative. Negative times positive is negative. Okay? Now, what's the best we can hope for? This is a maximum, isn't it? Why is it a maximum? N-shaped curve. So what's the most we can hope for? Make it equal to 0. What makes it equal to 0? What value of x will make it equal to 0, Aaron? The yellow part. We don't want it to have any value. We want it to be 0. So what about this yellow part? What x value do we need to put in so it's 0? All you have to do is look at this part here. X equals 1. And when you turn that into 0, what happens then? The y value is 3. The answer is 1, 3. Who beat me to it? Alrighty. That's good. So if I asked one of these at Christmas, we'd nail it, yeah? Yeah. Alrighty. Next one. Question, this one here. What's the first thing I need to do, Daniel? Thank you. What do I rearrange it into? Yeah. Brilliant. What do we do now, Daniel? Yeah. Plus 1x, yeah. What do we do with this part here? Yeah, that's tough, isn't it? So it's x plus a half squared. Okay. Now what happens when you multiply x plus a half squared? 1x. You always get the two of them back, don't you? And then what's a half by a half? Or a quarter, yeah. 0.25, otherwise known as a quarter. Multiply in by minus 2 then, Daniel. Yeah, yeah. What's minus 2 times a quarter? Minus a half. Now, I don't want minus a half. What do I want, Connor? I don't want minus a half. I want plus 17. So how do I fix that? Plus 17 and a half. Are we okay with that? 17 and a half is otherwise known as 35 over 2. Is that alright? I always use top heavy fractions the way forward. Now, what do I convert the yellow region back into? This yellow region here, the whole thing. I'll get me highlighter. What do I convert all of this back into? The yellow part. Yeah. Yeah, that yellow part is the same as that blue region there, isn't it? They're the same value. So what we say is that the answer is minus 2 into x plus a half squared plus 35 over 2. Maximum or minimum? David O'Reilly, maximum or minimum for this equation here? Terry, maximum or minimum? Why? Minus x squared is an n-shaped curve, which usually results in a maximum. Ever cool with that? Now, go downwards. Evan, guaranteed positive or guaranteed negative? This region in here combined. Why? Minus 2 times a positive number is going to be negative. So what's the best I can hope for? So how do you turn it into 0? X equals minus a half will turn that into 0. So that's minus a half right there. If that turns into 0, what's left over for the y value? Yeah, and there's your maximum point. Everybody cool with that? If you draw that graph out, what should happen is when you reach up here, this point here will be minus a half and 32 over 35 over 2. Go with that? Awesome. Alright, I think we're finally off this stuff.